Hey everyone, this is Alex from CarbonFury RC. This is a quick unscripted video going over the HiFlex chassis conversion. The HiFlex chassis conversion was originally developed for the ReveD RDX. It's an ultra lightweight chassis conversion featuring adjustable chassis flex. It has a lower deck that weighs just 36 grams. This lower deck has YD2 compatibility, including YD2 bulkheads. You can use aftermarket steering systems such as the Shark DDSS or AD Team steering system. Also, besides the RDX gearbox, you can fit the AD Team gearbox, Shark gearbox, YD2Z, YD2R, or RD1 gearboxes. Furthermore, one more feature is that you can adjust the weight bias of your car with ease. You have two ways. You can adjust the battery position with these slots here. These slots are 15 millimeters long, so you can run your battery all the way rearward or push it forward. Furthermore, you have 4 center servo positions. Each position is adjustable because these slots are 6 millimeters long. So you have a rear position, front mid, and rear mid. Furthermore, because this lower deck weighs only 36 grams and has so many cutouts, what happens naturally as a result of that? You get a highly flexible piece of carbon. Now, the idea behind the HiFlex wasn't to necessarily create a flex deck, but rather something that was extremely lightweight. So how do you add back the rigidity while not sacrificing overall mass? That's where this whole interconnecting structure comes in. Shown here is the Pro package, which involves the center top deck, front and rear. These side braces, which are actually kit standard. This U-brace, which interconnects these side braces. And these ultra lightweight battery holders, which replace the stock RDX battery compartment. The idea behind the Pro package is to reduce overall mass and increase the adjustability and configurability of your chassis. So you can opt for an extremely rigid chassis that also remains very lightweight, or something with high flex, as the name suggests. Configurability. That means you can run what you see here, which is these side braces, front center top deck, rear center top deck, and you have all of this interconnected. You have these standoffs, spacers, and another standoff up there, and a huge screw that goes from the top, reaches all the way to the bottom, as well as this interconnecting structure from this brace here, which reaches these side braces, which ultimately reaches the front end. Long story short, what you see here is something that's very rigid, but also remains relatively lightweight. Alternatively, you can omit some of these chassis components for increased flexibility and also reducing a little more weight. You can omit this center top deck and keep these side braces installed, or vice versa. You could remove these side braces and just run a center top deck, the front portion and the rear portion. The idea is for you to adjust and test different configurations to your heart's desire, so you can hone in that feel and responsiveness on your own. I'm not going to really tell you what to do with your chassis. Everyone likes a different configuration, and there are way too many configurations to go over in one video. For example, if you want something that's extremely rigid, you would keep this top deck installed and these side braces. You would add another standoff like you see here. You would add it here between this lower deck hole here and this. Furthermore, you can add another standoff, which comes with the Pro package, that interconnects this U-brace with the battery holder. Long story short, when you interconnect all these pieces, you end up getting this very lightweight but extremely rigid chassis structure that can rival deck conversions that are actually designed specifically for rigidity. These are often decks that you see sometimes of Japan that have like 0 cutouts, but also as a result of having no cutouts, weigh a lot more than this. Again, this lower deck weighs just 36 grams. These battery holders, along with the hardware for them, weighs something around 10. Top deck, 10 grams. Side braces, these weigh almost nothing. Like, you can really get a lightweight weapon of a chassis with this chassis conversion. And again, it's designed to be extremely lightweight and configurable to appeal to both people who want a flex chassis and people who prefer something that's extremely rigid. So this is an all-in-one solution. Looks may be deceiving, and when you see this thing, you might think, oh, this is something that's completely designed purely out of aesthetic. That's the problem with some of my products. I designed these things, spent way too much time designing these and making them aesthetically pleasing. And then people think that they're not competitive for performance. But it's much to the contrary. I have a mechanical engineering background, and this is designed for performance and compatibility first, and the aesthetics shown here are second. The chassis conversion starts at just $110 US. That includes the lower deck and side braces. The Pro package, which involves this U-brace, the center top deck, and the lightweight battery holders, is another $30. So for $110, you get this matte twill finish, which is much like what ReveD uses. For $130 US, you get, shown here on the Superflex, this highly reflective forged carbon finish. The forged carbon and the matte twill have the exact same mechanical properties. The forged carbon is a little more expensive because it costs more to make, but in the end, the only difference is just the aesthetics. So the laminate structure that composes these carbon fiber pieces is identical between the two. It's just that the topmost surfaces between the matte twill and the glossy forged are different purely because of aesthetic. So the two are identical mechanically. It's all down to your preference in how you want your chassis to look, whether it's the material or how you want it to look in terms of the configuration, if you want this center top deck alone, if you want the side braces alone, or have everything all together for a very rigid setup. It's really all up to you. Combined with the adjustable battery holders, as I mentioned earlier, and the 4 adjustable servo positions, you can really hone in the weight distribution and overall feel, flex, rigidity of your chassis however you like. It's the all-in-one solution that had way too much research and development and engineering and simulations behind it. More so than I'm willing to admit. All for $110. Upgrade your RDX and give it the adjustability, aesthetics, and quality that it deserves. The stock RDX is, of course, as we all know, a very good performing chassis, but the stock chassis is just limited. It's a little too heavy for my liking personally, and you'll definitely feel the weight reduction with a setup like this. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram. I am at CarbonFuryRC on Instagram, one word, no spaces, and CarbonFury space RC on Facebook. Links down in the description. This is Alex from CarbonFuryRC, and if you want to order one of these chassis, message me. All orders are done through direct message, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. Bye now.